Hey A&Pers, this is Dr. Jones checking in. This is A&P II Lab 2, Video 2, and we're starting in on the heart with this video. So we're on page 13 of your lab booklet, and we start with the term mediastinum. Mediastinum is the area between the two lungs. That includes everything with the heart, the great vessels, the trachea, the thymus, the whole shebang. The base of the heart is the top, and the apex will be the pointy part at the bottom. The pericardium is the serous membrane that surrounds the heart. And yes, we're going handheld because the tripod didn't fit the heart's just too big. So the pericardium is the serous membrane that surrounds the heart. Parietal pericardium and pericardial cavity don't show here, but the visceral pericardium is right here and includes the epicardium, which is the outer layer of the heart, includes the visceral pericardium and this connective tissue, the adipose CT around it, so the whole serous membrane. So the epicardium and visceral pericardium terms for this layer of the heart are more or less interchangeable. Next layer of the heart is the myocardium, and that's this layer here, the muscle, and also where it's cut. Let me open this. And you can also see myocardium in the wall of the heart. Okay, myocardium. And lining the inside of the heart is the endocardium. And if we were to dissect an actual heart, you'd see that the myocardium is dull, it's not shiny, but the endocardium, the lining on the inside of the heart, is all super shiny. The nice thing about the endocardium is that the blood cells don't stick to it, so that you don't get a bunch of blood clots inside your heart. So, super handy. Okay, now we need the terms pulmonary circuit and systemic circuit. Okay, so the pulmonary circuit is blood goes from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart. I know it doesn't look like a heart and they hardly look like lungs, but go with me here. So that's the pulmonary circuit. The systemic circuit is blood travels from the heart, okay, I can't look at the camera and draw, to the body, smiley face, and back to the heart. It's a heart, take my word for it. Okay, so the pulmonary circuit and the systemic circuit. The pulmonary circuit from the heart to the lungs to the heart, and the systemic circuit from the heart to the body to the heart. The other terms that you absolutely need to know are artery and vein. Now, we've been told since kindergarten that arteries are red and veins are blue, which is mostly true, but not completely true. So I'm here to tell you the rest of the truth. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. Carry blood away from heart. There you go. And veins carry blood towards the heart. Towards. There we go. To the heart. Hashtag not an English major. There we go. Okay, so this blood, now let's start here, the pulmonary circuit. This is going towards the heart. So this is a pulmonary artery. But what kind of blood do we have moving towards the heart? We have deoxygenated blood. So this will be blue. Sorry, I don't have my colors on me today. So these blood vessels are moving towards to the heart. So blood vessels that move to the heart are veins, and this is the pulmonary circuit. So these are pulmonary veins. Spill it out. And the pulmonary veins in the lungs, capillary beds, the carbon dioxide from the body has been dropped off into the lungs so that you can exhale it, and then you inhale more oxygen, and that goes into the blood. So now we have oxygenated blood. And the color code for oxygenated blood is red. So pulmonary arteries are blue, and pulmonary veins are red, which is the opposite of everything you've ever been told. Unless somebody already told you that, in which case you already knew. Okay, so the systemic circuit, you've got this oxygenated blood from the body, from the lungs, going out the systemic arteries. So this is oxygenated. And the color code for oxygenated is red. So in the systemic circuit, the arteries are red because that blood is oxygenated. And then in the body, you have capillary beds. I usually make the capillary beds purple because, you know, red and blue makes purple. So in the body, the capillary beds, the oxygen is dropped off to the tissues that need it, your brain if you're studying, your muscles if you're working out, all the tissues to keep you, so you have ATP, so you can move, and picks up the carbon dioxide. So these blood vessels going to the heart are systemic veins. And they carry what kind of blood? Deoxygenated. And our color code for that is blue. So in the systemic circuit, arteries are red and veins are blue. But in the pulmonary circuit, the colors are backwards. The arteries are blue and the veins are red, because arteries carry blood away from the heart and veins carry blood to the heart. Okay. Back to our list. Pulmonary circuit, we know now. Okay, so now we need to know the chambers of the heart. The top two chambers are the atria, and the bottom two chambers are the ventricles. Now you need to know left from right on here. And my tell on this is that the left ventricle wall is thicker than the right ventricle wall. So this with the thick ventricle wall is the left ventricle, right ventricle. Above the left ventricle is the left atrium. Above the right ventricle is the right atrium. What about the front? Sorry, it's loud. This is the front of your heart, and you flip that around, you need to know the chambers here too. And I use the same deal. There are some people who can, oh, well, that's the front, and then you flip it in your head, and then it's backwards, and then I can't do that. So the left ventricle wall is still thicker, and the right ventricle wall is still thinner. So there's your, what chamber? Left ventricle. Above it is your left atrium. This is your right ventricle, and above it is your right atrium. Okay, and we're right at 10 minutes there, almost. So we will come back to this. This has been A&P II, Lab 2, Video 2, all twos. Thanks as always for tuning in. The education must go on. Dr. J out.